Hi guys and welcome. So I know it's been a very long time since I have made a video, but there are a lot of reasons for that and I'll get onto that during the video. So this video, you will notice this is shot in a different spray booth and in a different shop, but we'll get into that a little bit later in the video. First I'll give you a bit of an update on where things are with me myself, where I am job wise, shop wise, and also where we are channel wise and where we're going to move forward through this year. So firstly, even though we are in a new shop here, I do still have my little shop that I was recording the videos for the channel from, but like I said, unfortunately my actual day job took a lot of time away from that, and the biggest part of that really was the fact that we worked shifts. Now the rotating shift pattern that we worked just really did play havoc on your sleeping pattern, and you just could never settle into a routine, which is why as time's gone on over this sort of last 2.5 years that I've worked there, I've been able to sort of make less and less videos, and not because I didn't want to, but just because the energy just wasn't there, and not the passion for the job, but just the get up and go, to actually get up and sit by the computer and actually spend the time to sit down for 8 hours, edit one of these videos together from all the separate pieces of clips, put all the information in, and then sit here for probably an hour or two and do all the narration and everything and check everything through and get it all uploaded. It was just so much time and effort whilst trying to work that job that it's just something that I just couldn't keep up with physically. And also, not only that, but at the end of last year, my partner, who suffers with a mental disorder, unfortunately became rather ill and had a bit of a lapse at the end of last year, which took up all of my time, and I even had to take time off from my day job to be there for her. But the problem has been, as time's gone on, my day job's just sort of taken over my life a little bit too much. Now a few of you know that I work for a rather large car manufacturer in the UK, and that's where my job was based, and whilst I worked there I had many different jobs within the firm. Now I don't regret the choice that I made to go there, or and I don't really have a bad word to say about the place either. It was just, unfortunately, just the hours and the job, it just wasn't me. Now during the time I was there, I met some absolutely amazing people, and made some really good friends as well. And one of the hardest parts really with making the decision to leave was the team of lads that I worked with when I left. I'd worked with them for about, I'd say probably about 5 or 6 months before I left, and they were the best team of lads that I've had the pleasure of working with, not only just there, but I'd say probably throughout my working life. They were all skilled in paintwork, we all had a drive to do the best that we could in a job, and we all worked really well together, so it made us a really good team. And it was one of the hardest parts with leaving, was actually making the decision to leave working with those guys. But unfortunately, not only just for my health and my family, but also for the channel, which I've really missed being able to do stuff for, because the whole point of this channel was to help people. I know there's guys on here that, even though I've had 6 months or so off from the channel, are still watching the videos. There's even some of you that have gone back and watched videos that you've already watched, and made more comments and asked more questions. And it's great to see that even though I have taken some time off, the channel has still grown around about another 1,000 subscribers, which is quite unreal really. It has kept the view count, and also the subscriber count has gone up while I've taken the time off. So as I said, I have made the decision that I have now left that other firm, and I've joined this paint shop that I'm spraying from right now. Now it's not a very large shop, but it has got a good reputation, and they do actually turn quite a large amount of cars as well. This video that we're watching here, this was my second day at this shop, and I think this was about the 6th or I think around about the 6th or 7th job I've actually painted here since I've been there, and this is on the Friday afternoon. I'd say probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So they do turn some cars, and they do like to make sure that the work's done nice, and also that the work's done right, which is what sort of drew me to saying yes, really, to go in here. Now, these guys have asked, well, the owner of this place has asked me a few times over the sort of past 18 months if I'd go and work for him and paint for him, but in the past it's been a bit of a tough decision, just because I always knew that I had such a stable job where I was, that it always seemed a little bit risky in the early days that these guys were set up in this place. But now they're pretty well established. They've been in this new building about a year and a half. They had this spray booth fitted brand new when they moved in, and they are really busy. And when he rang me, I'd say it was probably around about 2 to 3 weeks before this video was actually shot. We did actually end up having a more serious discussion, and I decided that after all the and ahhing over the sort of past 18 months that maybe it was about time to have a bit of a change, and also it'd give me the time back with my family, and not only the time back with my family, but it'd give me some time to get some rest and get back in a normal sort of 9 to 5 routine, which will be nice, although I don't really work 9 to 5 anyway. But to get back into some sort of daily routine, rather than 1 week having your days, 1 week, you know, having your afternoons, the next week having your nights. It's, you know, this just suits me a little bit better, especially having young kids. The sort of shift pattern I was working before meant that I didn't really get to spend much time with my kids or my other half, because I was either working or I was just absolutely exhausted from the shift pattern. But this is a great little shop, as I said. They are very much about the quality of the jobs, and also even though it is a small shop, they do actually turn quite a few numbers, and the owner is happy for me to video my work from here, so it gives me a good standpoint that from now on we can keep a good regular amount of videos on the channel. I can mix it up with some different spray guns, we can get some different techniques, some different paints, a lot of different cars, and really get back to basics about what we started this channel for, which is to help you guys, whether you are someone who just likes to watch somebody paint, or whether you're a novice and you're looking at learning new methods and looking at different spray guns and you want some tips and advice. We are going to get back to the channel's grassroots that we started this channel for, which was to help others. And one of the main parts of that is, whether you are a novice, whether you're a pro, or whether you're just an enthusiast who's doing a car in your garage at home and you want to learn tips and tricks, if you've got anything that you want to see in a video, or you've got any bits that you want to see included, or maybe have jobs broken down that little bit further, then do shout up in the comments below. Let us know your ideas and your thoughts, and from now on, obviously with painting a lot more jobs a day or a week, it makes it a lot easier for me to try and get them little bits and pieces that you guys want, and include them into the videos, and get a little bit more setup advice, and try and get a little bit more variety into the channel. Now, this shop, I think there's myself, the owner, and then there's 4 other lads that work in the shop. It's a good little team, they all seem rather nice. Like I said, this video was shot and recorded on and edited on the end of my 2nd day at this shop, but I have to say they have made me feel very welcome, and it's been so nice to get back in the booth and really start doing what I love, which is just getting in there, getting on and spraying it and doing it the way that it needs to be done, and just really cracking on. By the end of my 2nd day, I felt a lot more comfortable in there, and I could just get in and just crack on at doing the job that I love. And no matter how many cars I paint and how many cars I've painted in my life so far, even when I got on this shop on day 1, I wanted to try and do the best that I could, and day 2 they're coming out even better and even cleaner. This Mazda I have to say he's come out the cleanest job out of this booth so far, because even though I have been spraying for a very long time now in a lot of different booths and a lot of different setups, obviously again this is now a new team of lads, a new booth, everything's different, so it takes a little bit getting used to how everything works and the whole setup and the whole day-to-day just basic running of the shop. But I hope you guys do like the videos that we're going to make from here. I will be trying to include as much as I can video wise. I'll try and get a bit of mixing in there, a little bit more inside and outside of the booth than I have done before, and go a little bit from there. Also, as this is a new shop, I'll try and give you guys a bit of a shop walk around. One day when the booth's empty, I'll try and give you a bit of a walk around of the spray booth and how that works and what sort of booth it is. But just for now, let's get back to the actual job in hand. So this little Mazda MX-5 here, it's been in the shop, it's had a repaint, and there's one or two little bits that needed finishing off on it. I think there was a tiny little repair on the front that had been missed, so that's the little bit that had just been blown in on that front wing. Round the boot channel, if anyone's done one of these Mazda MX-5s before, you'll know how crappy and how brittle the paint seems to be around the boot where it's had no clear coat. It doesn't really seem to stick to the e-coat very well in the back end there, so we just blow in a nice fresh coat over all that to brighten it up, as is now the car's got a really fresh coat over it. Door shut there's been done because it's had part of the lower quarter panel put on it, so it's just having a little flick in where that quarter panel's been welded, and then it's been refinished in that door shut, just to make sure that everything's nice and neat in there. And obviously pretty much the same job on the back of the boot, it's just looking a little bit tired compared to the outside of the car, which now obviously looks like brand new. You will also notice that I've got the trusty GTI PROLITE around here. This is on a 1.2 setup with the T110 air cap. That's my preferred air cap of choice. I really like the T110. It just really suits me. I can put it down quite nice and quite fast, but again I like to paint quite close, so I can go quite close and quite quick, and for me it just effortlessly gives me that really nice off the gun finish. And as I'm getting more and more used to this booth and where the best airflow is and where it's cleanest, pretty much every job I've tried to put in a different way and a different angle to sort of test the booth's airflow. And I have to say, where this job was and where this job was sat, it gave me pretty much the best, cleanest job that I've seen in a long while, to be fair. There's two little bits that were at the top of the actual wing top, which I'll point out shortly, and bar that, it did come out a really nice clean finish. So the booth itself is fully gas heated. I think it's on around about 25-26 degrees on the spray cycle and about 65 degrees on the bake cycle, and it's really nice to get in a booth like this and just get in and crack on. Clear coat wise, this shop's got the Max Meyer range in. Use the Max Meyer 0200 for the trade work, and then we've got the Max Meyer 0300 for the higher end cars and also the private work. So on this one we're actually using the Max Meyer 0300, which is 2 to 1. They've got the medium hardener in it, and I've just put about a splash of about 5 or 10% of thinners in it. And I have to say, this 0300, the first time I used it, I found it okay, but in a heated booth like this, it is absolutely an amazing clear coat. You really can throw this stuff on really nice and quick, and get a real nice finish with it. I've not really sort of tried to push it too much to its limits so far. I did a pretty much new Mercedes with it earlier on this same day, and the gun finish on it was absolutely bang on factory finish. We just nibbed the top of the door off and sent it straight out, and it was absolutely perfect. Same for this wing here really. As you can see, the wing's got a real nice finish to it. It's not a glass finish, but that's not what we're looking for. But it's certainly a lot better than a standard factory finish. And as far as this booth goes, like cleanliness wise, there was just those 2 tiny little specks of dirt in the top of the wing. Like I say, I'll just point those out now. There's a tiny little one there and there, and literally that is it. We did clean the booth out when I first got there. We put some new filters in, washed the floor down, washed all the walls down, made sure everything was nice and clean, and swept everything out before we started painting in there on the Thursday. So we did start off with a nice clean fresh canvas, and now I'm getting used to the booth, and obviously you know, I am a bit OCD with the tack rag and the prep work. It really does make for a really nice, easy, really nice clean job. And obviously that makes life easier for the lads in the shop that then have got to finish this car and flatten polish it, because rather than flatten and polishing a whole panel like they have had to do in the past with the painter that they had before, they can now just nib out the bits that need to be done and then polish it up and send it straight out, which on its own is a huge bonus for the shop. Not just as in the case of the lads that are going to have to spend less time, but it's also going to cut down on the money aspect as well, because you're going to get through less materials with the actual flat and polishing of all the jobs that get painted every day, and the amount of time it's going to save. I mean, this on this particular day, I think this was the 3rd or 4th job we painted on this day, and literally I put this in the booth, prepped it and painted it up because we were a bit ahead of time and I had a spare hour or so, so I thought I might as well get this in while the booth was free and get this prepped and painted. It wasn't a job that we needed to get done that day, so it's just an added bonus to get this one done. So as far as this goes for today, guys, that's about it for this video. Hope you guys you know, updated now, and I can promise you that from now on we will be putting a lot more videos up, and we are going to get back properly to a regular uploads on this channel and get back to where we started. So it's goodbye from me for now, guys, and I'll see you again soon.